team news tomorrow, first of all?
Team news is that John is still out, and Van Ginkel and Nando is back to selection. So we are better than in the last match because Nando is back and is one more option for us.
How long do you expect John Terry to be out for?
I expect him to play in the next weekend.
Jose, you're top of the league. I think you know that already. Where do you expect to be with 13 games left?
I expect the team to be better. I expect the players to be better, the younger ones. I expect the older ones to be stable in their performance. I expect the team to have an identity. I expect the team to have a philosophy of playing and competing. And all these things are coming step by step. And for me, that's the most important thing. Do I like to be top of the league? Yes, I like. I think everybody likes. Are we going to fight and play football to try to stay there? Of course, we are going to try that. Do we think that we can win tomorrow? Yes, we think we can, but it's difficult. And to say something about the end of the season is very, very difficult because between the first and the fourth, we are speaking about 6 points. 6 points are 2 matches. 2 matches, when you have 13 to play, is nothing. So mathematically, and more than mathematically, I think all the top 4 can win the title. Independent of the mathematic, I still think that other teams, they are in better conditions than us.
But you're in the race now, aren't you?
Sorry?
You're in the race now, aren't you?
Yes, we are in the race since the beginning of the season. Everybody is in the race. Everybody has an influence in the race. Every team is fighting for points. Every team is taking points from the big teams. In this moment is the moment where the people that is in the lowest part of the table, they feel the heat, and they feel that they need to win matches and they need to stay in the Bacchus Premier League. So you see what West Ham did to us, what Fulham did to United, what Norwich did to City. And this is the reality of this league. Every match is very difficult, so you have 13 matches to play. The difference between the first and the fourth is 9 points. I keep saying the same. 6 points between the first and the fourth is 6 points. I keep saying that I want to see the fifth far from us, because the Champions League spot is something so important for us, and I think for everybody. So I want to see the fifth far. And when the fifth is far, we will be only focused on the 4. And when we are focused on the 4, you have better conditions to fight for the title. That's obvious. But the first thing we have to do is to be far from the fifth and to be solid. Because, for example, last season Chelsea was in the last match of the season playing at home against Everton and was fighting for a Champions League spot. So this league is much more dangerous than the previous league, 2012-13. So I think it's more than fundamental that the fifth is far from us. So Tottenham to beat Everton was not the best result. A draw would be better for us.
Jose, I've heard you say that your best moment as a manager was the Champions League victory with Inter. Where would winning the league...
Was the one I enjoy more. I'm not saying was the best. I think I was lucky because my career is full of big moments. But that one was the one that I felt in a very special way. Maybe because I know it's my last day in the club. Maybe because the semi-final was like a dramatic movie. Maybe because the final was in the stadium where one day later becomes my new stadium. Maybe because of that was the moment that I really was more emotional about it. But my career is full of good moments.
Where would winning the league this season, given the conditions you say you have, rank in your career?
I don't know. If we do that, I will feel, and I will speak about my feelings as I normally do in an open way. But in this moment, I'm not thinking about that. In this moment, I'm just thinking in all of these things that I was speaking about.
You've talked about how close it is between the top four and below as well. How many points do you think it will take to finish top?
I don't know. I cannot say, because maybe the teams not in the top four will be very influential in the league. Normally people is pushed to say Chelsea against Arsenal, and Arsenal against City, and Liverpool against City. These are the matches that are going to decide things. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't. In other leagues, we know that. We know that it is. We know that Madrid, Barcelona decides the title, and Benfica, Porto decide the title. And this is not the same situation. So I think the title is decided match after match.
Is that particularly relevant for Chelsea? Because your record against the top teams has been very good, but as you said, you've drawn against West Brom, against West Ham, you've lost against Stoke. Is a game like tomorrow particularly important with regard to...
As I was saying, every game is important. If we don't win tomorrow, it's not just about the title contenders to jump to the leadership again. Is also about Tottenham to win, or Everton to win, and they close also the gap. So I think in this moment every point is important.
You mentioned over the weekend about Eden Hazard that he's almost unrecognisable.
Well done.
You mentioned over the weekend that Eden Hazard is almost unrecognisable from his first training session that you took with him. Could you expand on that? What kind of changes have you seen? Is it just what he's been on the pitch, but off the pitch as well?
I keep saying off the pitch, he's a tremendous young guy, very special guy, so young and such a family boy, and married with kids, with a family, without these things that normally this generation wants to do and likes to do outside the job, and is completely a stable boy. On the pitch is what you see. You can see the difference between a talented player that he was always, and that he is since he arrived in this country, and even before, for the people that was following French football. But I think in this moment he gave the jump between the talented player and the player that has other things. You know, he's more strong physically, he's more strong mentally. He likes to win, he tries to make the difference. He accepts the responsibility of be quite a team leader in terms of the attacking organization. So he's a better player. I don't want to speak too much and repeat, but the reality is that he's improving a lot, and he's still a very young player.
Has he the potential to be mentioned, perhaps alongside the likes of Ronaldo and Messi, or do you feel he should be mentioned alongside those guys already?
No, I feel that we shouldn't mix generations and different careers. One career is Messi and Ronaldo. Ronaldo, I think, is 28, 29, and Messi a bit younger, but players with 10 years of football and lots of success and titles and awards. Another thing is a kid with, I believe, with an amazing talent, but in the beginning of his of his career. So I don't think it's fair for Ronaldo or Messi to compare other players with them. It's not fair for them. But I don't think it's also fair for a young player to compare him. Just let him play and have a natural evolution. And certainly, Ronaldo and Messi, they will have people to succeed their reign. And Eden will be waiting for them to become older and more mature, for sure.
David.
Jose, given you are now top of the league, despite what you've told us about your planning for next season, would it be very disappointing now? How disappointing would it be, given that you are top of the league, if you don't finish there?
Not disappointing. Disappointing I would be if my team doesn't keep the evolution in every aspect of the game. We know that we have now to play FA Cup, to play Champions League, lots of matches to add to these 13 Premier League matches, and many things can happen. But I'll be disappointed if my team collapse and can't keep the level. But if we keep this level, even if we lose points and matches, and even if we don't win the league, I wouldn't be disappointed.
Why do you say other teams are in better condition than Chelsea? Why did you say that?
No, I don't think I have to repeat myself a lot, but everybody knows what Man City is, and I don't think I need to repeat myself a lot again. What I would like to say is that, for example, in the other day, Pellegrini was doing some comments about the money we spent, and I think he's a fantastic coach, and I respect that a lot. And in the top of that, outside his football career, he's an engineer by academic formation. And I don't think an engineer needs a calculator to do Matas 37, more or less. And De Bruyne 18 is 55. Matic is 21. And Salah is 11, is 32. 55 minus 32 is 23. So Chelsea in this transfer window, I'm speaking roughly, 23 million pounds plus. It's easy to understand that this is to work with the fair play, the financial fair play, what I call the fair financial fair play. So there are no arguments against that. This is what we are doing. Others don't do the same. We are building a team for the next decade, if possible. And they have a team to win now. Because they don't have a team for 10 years. They have a team for now. For now, for the next 3-4. So experience, potential, power, not worried about financial fair play, because in the summer they just spent. We don't need a calculator for this. It's easy. Plus 23.
What did you feel about Manchester United? Another slip up yesterday and more pressure on David Moyes. Do you sympathise with his position, and do you think they can finish in the top four?
They can. They can. It's not easy. They know that. They know that. They know that they are in the limit for the top four. And they also know that teams like us, Liverpool, Arsenal, we are doing okay, and it's not easy for them to close such a big gap. But it's possible. It's possible. I feel sorry for them. I never enjoy when somebody is having some problems like they have. But United is United, and David is experienced enough to cope with the situation, and the future will be better for them.
Is he the right man for the job?
Yes, I think so.
And we saw what Liverpool did against Arsenal on Saturday. Are they in the mix for the title? Brendan said he didn't think so. Do you differ with that?
I think they are in a similar situation as we are. They didn't start the season by being the top favorites. A team with some similarities with us in the fact that they have a couple of very experienced players like Stevie G and the central defenders, but they have also a very young team to develop. The manager is very good, and the fact that they don't play Champions League, I think, is very important for them, because when Champions League come, is a big sink for the other teams, and Liverpool only plays one match a week, and that makes a real difference when it comes to the end of the season. March, April, beginning of May, this can play a big role.
Jose, when West Brom came to Stamford Bridge, they were a very difficult opponent under Steve Clarke. What do you know about the way their new coach, Pepe Mel, sets out the team? What do you know about him?
I know him from Spain. When I arrived there, he was with Betis in the second division. He was a champion, and the next year he came to the first division, and he did very well with Betis. We lost Real Madrid. We lost with them in one game. He's a coach that likes to play football, likes his team to play well, to pass the ball, to keep possession of the ball. I don't know if this is the way he wants to work with West Brom, but he's a good coach. He's a good guy.
Simon.
So, how big a blow would it be for City if Yaya Toure ends up getting charged?
I don't understand why you say if, because if you say if and he's not suspended, the message is clear for the players. You can do what you want. If the referee doesn't see, you can do what you want. So if your if becomes a no suspension, the message is there. So normally, if the FA defends football, it has to be suspended.
So you'd be pretty upset if he is let off or nothing happens?
Of course. Or is the same for everybody else, and from now every player feels that if the referee doesn't see, I can do. Doesn't matter the cameras, doesn't matter the consequences, because if the referee doesn't see, I can do it.
And just going back to what you said about Pellegrini and what you were saying about Chelsea spending, do you think that's a sign that he's getting a bit nervous about Chelsea and how strong a challenge you're posing?
No, I think he has a fantastic team and fantastic players, and himself is a very good manager. And he has lots of experience, and I don't think that's a problem for him. And he knows that certain matches are about 39 points, and 39 points is an eternity of a league. So everything is more than open. And a few weeks ago, we told that he wanted to win the 4 competitions. I see no reason for him to change his speech. The only thing that is quite funny is that he told months after months after months, he started that in Spain, and he keeps saying the same here in England, that I never comment Mourinho, I never answer to Mourinho, but he did. So it changed.
And one last question on, you mentioned on Saturday about Eden Hazard and the lack of recognition so far in terms of awards. Do you think that Gareth Bale last year, he won Young Player of the Year and the Player of the Year, do you think Hazard could perhaps emulate in the way he's playing?
I always defend that the individual awards should be for the winners. That's always my feeling. I think last year happens to Gareth and not to a Man United player, because Gareth was really more than special. He had a fabulous season, but normally I defend that the individual awards are a consequence of the collective work, are a consequence of the team big award, which is to win the competitions. And I don't vote, but if I vote, I always vote for a player that belongs to the champions. So the most preeminent, you say preeminent?
Preeminent.
Yeah, the most preeminent player, the most important player in the team that wins the league. I think what happens to Gareth, in my opinion, was something out of the way I understand football. So for me, they should wait to see the champion, and when the champion is there, they have to try to choose.
The voting is done a lot earlier than that, but if it's the title goes.
I don't agree. I think football is about teams. It's not about players. It's about teams, and I think when a player from the champion gets the award, it's normal, because the biggest award is the title. So I think they should be waiting for the champion, and maybe to wait for the champion you have to wait for the last game.